Welcome to Women of the Metaverse. I am Cheryl Laidlaw.
I am Angela Harkness. We have been and are still on a journey to discover the Metaverse, Web 3.0, NFTs, and anything that we are required to know to join this world.
From this podcast, we will help you to unlock how the Metaverse is going to impact your brand, your business, and even your personal life.
Join us as we take the mystery out of this new digital universe. Welcome to episode 5 of Women of the Metaverse. We are going to do something a bit different in this episode, but something we will do a lot more in the future. And we are going to talk about one particular project. This project has everything. It has the Metaverse, NFTs, and female founders. In this episode, we are going to be talking about the Wisher Vodka project. Cheryl.
Okay, so the Wisher Vodka was founded by Kimberly LaRosa and Emily Grillis Terry. What they have created is a vegan vodka using beet sugar rather than the usual grain sugar because Kimberly has Crohn's disease and wanted to develop a spirit that she could drink. Pretty epic, right?
Yeah.
What makes this so unique is that when it first launched, it was launched in the Metaverse.
I just love this so much.
It's crazy. Even before a real drop of vodka was sold in a shop, restaurant, or pub. How crazy is that?
I know.
They launched, or as they like to call it, broke ground on a meta distillery in September 2021 in Decentraland and hold weekly parties.
Crazy.
Genius.
You go to a party in the Metaverse.
Yeah, with your vodka.
You're with your vodka.
Yeah. In December 2021, they held their launch party. But how many random NFTs did they launch with, Angela?
Right. This is where this is just the whole thing is just so genius because they've used every single marketing tool at their
disposal,
fingertips.
Right? No,
yeah, everything. So not only did they obviously launch in the Metaverse, they built an actual distillery. So you can, if you just go and look for images, you see it. But they also launched a collection of 1,056 cocktail-themed NFTs. I can't find why it was 1,056. I don't know why that number is specific. I have no clue. But they launched those in March of this year, and they include your classic Sex on the Beach, martinis, and cosmopolitans. But you need to be 21 to own one, so still very responsible around their drinking age. And even if you go into the distillery or into the bar, whatever they call it, you have to be 21 in the Metaverse to go into the party. And again, as we talked about in previous episodes, there's this token behind it. So if you buy one of the NFTs, you also get a case of Wisher Vodka. So just amazing.
Really covered everything.
Yeah, they really have.
And not only have they covered everything, but on their website, they are also selling clothes to wear to the Metaverse parties. I mean, have they ticked every box or what?
I mean, they're not the nicest things in the world. Like,
well, I'm sure they will improve, but it's such a genius idea, and they're all branded with the Wisher branding.
Yeah,
and these are called digital wearable files.
And we are going to be talking more about those in other episodes because this is really exciting, I think. Another dimension to what you can do in the Metaverse.
And again, this is all in the show notes. So please go and have a little look at Wisher Vodka. That's quite a tongue twister, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Wisher Vodka. Yeah.
So as we always like to talk about how we can transfer these ideas over into our business and other people's businesses. What ideas have we got for other female founders, Angela?
Yeah. The reason why we did this episode, because this actually wasn't going to be the episode we were going to record today. And then I showed Cheryl, I was like, this is so exciting. I think we should talk about this as episode 5.
Definitely.
But one of the things I was telling Cheryl is I went into this app called Horizon Venues, and I
In the
don't
metaverse.
like it in the metaverse with my Oculus on. And I don't actually really like it in there. It's a bit like people come up to you and I don't know why people can't talk to you normally, but when I went in there, there was a couple of times where, people were coming up and going, hey, little lady, hey, girl. And I was like, oh, just go away. The only reason I go in there is you can actually take selfies of your own avatar. Which I've been trying to do. But I'm saying this because I didn't like it. And when we talked about this episode and I went away and I thought about ideas, I was thinking, well, where would I want to go? I don't want to go, I think this is genius what they're doing, but I don't necessarily want to go to a vodka party in the metaverse. I want to go to where I would want to go. And there are these three women that sort of encapsulate what I would want to do. And I think if they took their businesses, their physical businesses into the metaverse, that's what I would join. So there's a lady called Jade Holland Cooper who had founded a fashion brand. I don't even think you should call it a fashion brand. She designs clothing, but she absolutely designed clothing that encapsulates who she is and what she loves. So she grew up on a farm, and her clothes have a very sort of heritage feel. So you can go into a website and you can buy joppers and you can buy riding boots and you can buy wellies, but you can also buy very elegant dresses and bags, but you can buy hoodies. It's a very sort of
Stunning. It's a
eclectic,
stunning brand.
it's
Yeah.
stunning brand, but it's sort of, it doesn't have, I guess the theme is it just represents who Jade Holland Cooper is. And she just, it sort of is her lifestyle, not just the clothes she wears. And then you've got Erin Lauder, who is, I think it's granddaughter of Estee Lauder, who you would have all seen her. You would have seen her Erin perfume, and her business is like a multi-billion dollar business. But she also has this lifestyle collection, very kind of American, in the country vibe type, vintage style lifestyle collection. And then there's another lady called Paula Sutton who she's a blogger called Hill House Vintage. And where you get these people who encapsulate, just really live everything about their lifestyle. So you might see somebody who loves the 50s and their whole house is decorated in 50s style. So they even have the old gas cooker, and they have it like almost as if they still are just living in the 50s. They dress in the 50s. Paula Sutton is like that. She just looks like this lady that lives in the country and drives a soft top car and, wears scarves around her head and that. And I think I would want to go to lunch with people like that in the metaverse. I would want to go to their house and look at their stuff in the metaverse. I would have, if I would go to their collection and have events there rather than the Wisher Vodka distillery, which I think is a genius idea. But I
Yeah.
think part of what we as women, because this is really what we wanted to do, because to get more women involved in this, you can build the metaverse as you want to build the metaverse. So if you wanted to create a collection of vintage china in the metaverse, or vintage style clothing, or Jade Holland Cooper did her clothing in the metaverse, that's entirely up to you. Like, there are no rules. And that's why just when I thought about this, I was thinking, yeah, I would love that. I would love to go into the metaverse and go and sit in Paula's living room and, just have afternoon tea in the metaverse.
Wow, you've really painted a picture there, Angela. You've got such an amazing imagination. I'm sold. I'd also go.
But when you love that, because I think people just think of it as so high tech, and I just think, no, I just really want to go and sit in a beautiful garden. I want to go and have lunch with Erin Lauder and, do all of these things. What about
Absolutely.
you? What
Why not?
ideas do you have?
Well, I actually haven't got any. My ideas aren't as amazing as yours, but I'm very similar. I don't want to go to parties in the metaverse. I would very much want to join a networking group, business group,
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
But and also maybe a spa of some kind. And
Yes.
there's Abby Wright that she was the founder of spabreaks.com.
Yeah.
She could totally open up a spa in the metaverse.
Yeah.
And at this moment in time, I mean, my imagination isn't as vivid as yours, but it, we, could have some spa treatments, and we'd probably have to put a suit on for that, right? So we could actually feel
Or
the
towels.
total relaxation.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe. But even, when like you first go into your home in the Oculus, even just that view just kind of makes you feel like, do you remember when we went to the beach? Didn't we? We sat
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
beach, and even that just is like, because you can, or even when you go into Horizon workrooms and the sea is lapping up against the
Mm.
shore, even
And the
that
little
just
crabs
makes
are
you,
like running across the
yeah,
floor, and
yeah, even that just makes you feel. I think it will get more sensory as it develops, and
definitely.
I think the spa is amazing because you could just an hour's escape where you could imagine yourself having a facial or a massage. Just
Mm,
would be
definitely.
amazing. And all the stuff that goes with it. So all the products and like even towels and to
You're talking
make you
about
feel.
buying towels,
Well, you could develop
sell
towels
them.
for the metaverse
Yeah.
and like
Uh,
and dressing gowns.
Oh yeah. I love a dressing gown. You know me,
You love
Angela.
a dressing gown, don't you? I think that should be your first collection, a
Yeah,
Cheryl dressing gown.
absolutely. Or handbags. So we've got also Sarah Harran, who's a handbag designer from the UK, and I would love to go into a metaverse handbag shop and have a little
Oh,
look around.
there aren't enough places to buy handbags. So if you can add more, perfect. Right.
Absolutely. And we could buy and yeah, buy all the handbags, try them all on.
Yeah. Amazing.
That would
Amazing.
be a
But
fantastic
also
idea.
there's the opportunity there for somebody like Sarah to similar to a Wisher Vodka where they've created the
NFTs.
physical version,
Yeah.
but they've also created NFTs. But you've got that. You can either have the metaverse vodka or cocktail, but then you can then get the physical. So Sarah could create an NFT. She could create metaverse handbags, but then also she could sell the physical version through her shop in the metaverse. I mean, just it's
And you
just
could also,
endless,
I
isn't
think
it?
at this point as well, there could be affiliates for each other.
Yes,
I mean,
completely.
not so much the vodka, I mean, the vodka and the handbags, but there's absolutely no reason why you can't buy the digital wearables in
Yeah,
all of the shops, and
completely.
there'd be a kickback
Yeah,
on sales.
yeah, completely. Yeah, it's just incredible. And we were also, Cheryl and I talking about Holly Tucker, who created Not on the High Street. So if you're not in the UK, you may not know this, but she just it started like a magazine, almost like a little catalogue that comes through the door. But she takes those small kind of creatives that wouldn't necessarily be able to sell on the high street and create this massive brand for Not on the High Street. It's incredible stuff you can buy on there. But she could create a Not on the High Street shop or not in the metaverse. I don't know what you'd call it. I'm not very good at that stuff.
No, you are
But
very
she
good at this stuff, trust me.
but yeah, but not the names. I'm not a name person. But she could literally do purely maybe metaverse designed goods that she could sell in her shop in the metaverse, or she could do the physical version, the same thing. But God, wouldn't you just love to wander around and pick things up? And because that's partly some of the problem with Etsy and Not on the High Street is you
Mm,
can't necessarily, it's not tangible sometimes, and you don't know
you're
really
relying on the
what's.
reviews, aren't you?
Yeah, you're relying on reviews and you're relying on the images. And sometimes you just want to pick it up and see it stood next to something else, and the tangible. But also because the properties are going to be massive in the metaverse, to
Mm,
sell items just for the metaverse will be a business in itself.
absolutely. And Angela, what would you say to people that are worried about this concept? You know how we're talking about it from a very positive point of view. What would you say to people that are scared?
I would say you have to get involved. I think people got scared when social media came along. I mean, I think back to now when I was a young girl, which was decades ago, I had to sit on the stairs in the house because the house phone was attached to the wall. The first PC I got, you could have one piece of software on it because it was so slow. And the internet wasn't a word at that point. To the point now where I can put on a pair of glasses and go and sit on a beach or sit in Paris and just feel I think if you get scared about it, then you don't adapt to the change. Look at how much trouble we used to have trying to convince people they needed to do social media.
Yes, build
And
a community, build your network online.
And so many people were so resistant to doing social media because I think they thought it was going away. And now, we all have got to do so. Yeah, we've all got to do social media. So, yeah, I guess there's a scary element to it because where's the balance or where it's got to go. But, Cheryl and I have said so many times, you are right at the front of the queue at this. So you have the opportunity to define how you want it rather than try and be resistant to it. There's so much you can do and you can create it in the way that you want. And, I think you shouldn't be scared of it. We're not. We've gone in and we've done our thing, but we're not. We're loving it and we're so interested in it. But we're not doing it every day. I'm not sat on Oculus 8 hours a day. I go days without using it.
I was
but
saying
when
to
I
my
do,
friend today, the headset actually hurts.
Yeah, it does. It's not conducive
it's not
to women.
No, absolutely not. And it will improve. It will get better.
Of course, it will.
Yeah.
When we see new design for other glasses, they're so different.
They're smaller.
They just look like sunglasses. That's what it'll come down to. But when I do go in, I get really excited and I get loads of ideas. Or when I read things like Wisher Project and what they're doing and other brands, that's what makes me excited because it's new and it's exciting and it's creative.
Business opportunities, absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. So, anyway. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. We hope you found it interesting. And, if you've got any ideas, let us know. Or if you want us to give you ideas for your business, then put some comments and we'll happily try and think of some stuff. So what are we going to be talking about next week, though, Cheryl? What are we going to be into next week?
We will be talking about all things fashion in the metaverse. So I will see you then.
Bye. Thank you for listening to this episode of Women of the Metaverse.
You can find all information, links, and people we talked about in the show notes on our website.
If you have enjoyed this podcast, please comment and subscribe.
Join us again in the next episode as we continue this exciting metaverse journey.